What's up, everybody? I don't know. I see a lot of people do that on YouTube. I need to come up with, or really bite, because nobody really comes up with their own anymore. People just kind of steal from other people. You know, you've got the Brad Martin, what's up, everybody? You've got, people that go, let's go, when they start their YouTube channels. You got them, they just go, let's go. And then it cuts into their intro music. When I get better at this, I'll have intro music and cool cuts and edits too. But right now, like Krista Lee used to say on the 10-minute podcast, this is real. This is what you see is what you get. It's uncut, unedited. So yeah, you're going to get some ums. You're going to get me playing with my hair. You're going to get me daydreaming for a moment as I think about the next thing to say or how to make my point better. Yeah, so help me with an opener, kind of got the Ariel Hawani, welcome back, everybody, Yeah, so I got to have a cool one, though. So I may just stick with, let's go, like the gym bro. But, yeah, so we'll figure it out. I'll get better at that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a thumbs up. So leave a comment, too. Tell me how ugly I am or that at 35 I shouldn't have pimples on my head. Either way, it's going to be cool, man. We're going to get through it together. Hey, I'm back on tonight. I want to talk about Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. There's a lot of talk about this main event coming up, or what I deem as a main event. If it's not, it's tragedy. Yeah, I was listening to Chael Sonnen's podcast recently, and he was talking about they shouldn't do a BMF belt. They absolutely should do a BMF belt. He talked about how there was a major fail in boxing when they did the money belt. And I don't think it was like that. And one of his arguments is it's never going to be defended. That's the good thing. When are you going to get two guys with the personality of Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz to fight again? That's what makes them BMFs. That's what makes the BMF belt. Anybody who fights for an organized sport is a BMF, right? I mean, come on. The worst UFC fighter in the history of the UFC could beat me up right now. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is their personalities, who this belt represents. It's the same thing with the money belt. If Conor and Floyd fought again, they could fight for the belt one more time. But with anybody else, no one else is going to give that draw. What made that money belt so believable is that belt really was going to draw. And it did. It was the money fight. You took the best of MMA had to offer against the best of boxing had to offer, and it was drawing eyes. Conor was talking. Well, that's what we talked last time. Conor was talking. Floyd was talking. It sold. It was the money fight. These two are the gangsters of MMA. I'm sorry, Chael Sonnen. I think the new reign for gangster is gone. This is the gangster division, to quote Chael Sonnen. He talks about, fighting in gangster weight. That is what Nate and Jorge are to me. That's what they're doing. So it's awesome. I think that belt means something to them. I think it should be a one and done. Whoever wins it gets to have it forever. I think it's awesome that The Rock is doing it. It's going to draw more eyes. Who is more popular than The Rock? Dwayne Johnson? Are you nuts? He's going to draw eyes. There are going to be people who don't care about this fight that will tune in from the wrestling side and the Dwayne Johnson fan side to watch him put a belt on someone in a sport that he has nothing to do with. That's historical. That is awesome. Look, Nate and Jorge fighting for this belt, is it necessary? It's super necessary. So I love that they're doing it. I love that there's a belt made. I think it's cool. It's going to be great for marketing. It's great for promotional content. And it's super necessary. So again, that's super necessary. What I talked about last episode was having quotes, things that fighters say to be in a Hall of Fame someday. I don't know. That's crazy, but super necessary has to be in there, right? So, ways to win. I think we both can admit these guys are just tough. These are gritty boys from, rough areas, rough growing up environment. They're tough guys. They've made it. They've essentially made it, They're professional athletes. They're household names. And they're tough. One thing that, boxing used to say is it's hard to stay hungry when you're sleeping in satin sheets. And these two boys are still hungry. And I don't know how and I don't know why. But we should be thankful that they're still hungry. This is going to be such a treat for us fans. These guys are just, it's going to be a treat, really. I'm excited for this fight. Honestly, I think that Masvidal has way nastier stand-up. I know Nate prides himself on his boxing. I don't think his boxing is all that. I think Nick would mess him up on the feet. On the ground too, but we'll get to that. I just don't think Nate is as clean as a striker. I don't think he has the power of Masvidal. I don't think he has the versatility that Masvidal comes with. I think, Masvidal's coming to this fight with a bigger toolbox, right? With a bigger tool pouch. And that tool pouch is going to allow him to pick different weapons to use against Nate versus just slaps and boxing. On the ground, I think it's Nate by a landslide. Nate is a Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. His brother's Nick Diaz. Do I need to go on? I don't know that I can think of a time, and I'm sure somebody will let me know, that I've seen Jorge Masvidal tired, but Nate's not going to get tired. That's the thing that the Diaz brothers are known for. They're not going to be tired. So I'm going to give cardio towards Nate also. I just don't know that Nate can take the punishment on the feet that Masvidal is going to bring. I know that he ate Conor's punches at, 170. He's a big guy, but so is Jorge. But he might be a little bigger than Jorge. He's kind of thick, He stands all big too. So I'll be eager to see. I really do. I really hope. Nate can't stop leg kicks to save his life. The blueprint is there how to beat him. The blueprint isn't really laid on how to beat Masvidal. So we'll see if Masvidal comes in here and makes this a BMF fight, or if he comes in strategically and does something like Carlos Condit, right? It's going to be throwing spinning, So we'll find out. Carlos Condit stuck to a game plan against Nick Diaz. He didn't fight Nick Diaz. He had a game plan, stuck to that game plan. Look, I think it was Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I think most of these MMA fighters have a plan until they get slapped in the face. I think you're going to bring a lot of anger out in Jorge Masvidal if he gets slapped in the face on TV. Nate is the king of mind games in that. Masvidal does not shy away from the talking game either. I can't wait to watch this fight. If I had to put a prediction on it, I think Masvidal takes the fight. Just being objective, looking at their skill sets, seeing what they can do. Nate's not a wrestler. Nate's not going to shoot in and take him down. Nate's not going to, push him against the fence and clinch and try to get him down from there. Nate's going to just take advantage of the feet work. His boxing, he'll keep it in boxing range. I think Jorge just has, more weapons in his tool pouch on the feet. So that'll be fun to watch. I'm excited. Tell me if you like the idea of them fighting for a BMF belt. Do you like that idea? Do you side with Chael Sonnen? There's not a right answer. I just think Chael is off the mark on this. I think at the end of the day, he might be he definitely is upset. Any competitor is upset if they don't ever win the gold. To not have a belt made specifically for you is something else to choke down as well. Jealousy runs in all forms, and I think that if this opportunity would have went for Chael Sonnen in his prime, he would have been all over a BMF belt, and it would have been the coolest thing in the whole world. let Nate have his time. Let Jorge have his time. Let this belt be made. Have The Rock put them on it. It couldn't be better for promotion. And hopefully the belt never... you know what? Retire the belt after this fight and put it in the UFC Hall of Fame. Boom.